Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Now, we've seen a bunch of different strategies from these flailing and failing Democrats, and more specifically this Biden White House. They've been trying all kinds of different things to turn this ship around. None of it has worked, of course. They've failed spectacularly across the board, but probably the worst strategy that we've seen from the White House, and it's one that they keep defaulting back to, they've been doing this basically since the start, is just sending Sleepy Joe out on that stage all by his lonesome, and I guess just sitting in the back room, fingers crossed, hoping for a miracle that old Uncle Joe is going to be able to connect with the audience and just get the job done and bring a big W back home. I mean, seriously, they seem to use Joe Biden as Joe Biden's fixer sometimes. Actually, most of the time. And just think about how stupid that is. You know, I can think of an analogy. And the first one that comes to mind is, let's say you're a criminal with a track record of terrible crimes, and you have the education of a 5th grader, you dropped out of school, and your legal team or your legal counsel decides that you should be part of the trial. In fact, you should probably even represent yourself legally. Well, Joe Biden is that criminal with a 5th grade education, and he's representing himself, and it is an unmitigated disaster. We've covered a couple clips in the previous video that I recorded of Joe Biden's appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live. I mean, first of all, I don't know why they thought this was a good idea. Nobody even watches Jimmy Kimmel Live anymore, or any of these late night hack TV shows, and the people that do are already part of this vote blue no matter who crowd anyways. But nonetheless, Joe Biden shows up on Jimmy Kimmel's show, and it is the cringiest thing I have seen in a very long time. Again, it all boils down to the same thing. There is nothing more frustrated than being lied to, but even worse than that is the feeling that you're being played, or the feeling that they think you're stupid and you can't see right through their very obvious orchestrated plot. That's exactly what this was. They tried to frame it as Jimmy Kimmel's asking some real tough questions and challenging the president.
It's wonderful to have you here.
Good to be back, Jimmy. I thought maybe you wanted me to just stay on Fox all the time.
You know, they're very concerned that I might not ask you serious questions, so I don't want you to...
They really ask serious questions.
Yeah, right. I don't want to upset them at all. Do you mind if I ask you some serious questions? Because this is, unfortunately...
Not at all. I never mind having a conversation with someone really smart.
Well, Guillermo, maybe you need to take over.
But really, all it was brown-nosing shill Jimmy Kimmel doing everything in his power to help Joe Biden. It almost looked like Jimmy Kimmel sitting across from his old grandfather who can't string a coherent sentence together, trying to help him communicate to the American public. Let me show you guys just how much of a dishonest actor Jimmy Kimmel is. But before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible, and with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so let's start off with Jimmy Kimmel, who said he's gonna ask some tough questions. He's gonna really challenge the president. This right here is the first clip, and I played a small part of it in a previous video that I made, but I want to talk about something different and focus just on the interview itself. Take a look at this.
No question
So there's a lot of major things we've done, but what we haven't done is we haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is, let me say another way.
Well, see, that's kind of perfect. Yeah,
well,
we haven't been able to communicate
but
it.
But look how the press has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first of all, Joe is as incoherent as he usually is. We criticized him, I think, in a video yesterday about this exact point. Joe Biden starts off about all the major things that he and his administration has done, then literally can't name a single one of them, loses his thought, then says, Megmug say another way. Megmug say another way. What does that mean? I think what he meant to say was, make me say another way? He's appealing to Jimmy Kimmel to help him speak a basic sentence, and then Jimmy Kimmel's response, well, see, that's kind of perfect, Joe. Jimmy Kimmel's really gonna challenge Joe Biden. Joe Biden says, Megmug say another way, and Jimmy Kimmel responds with,
well, see, that's kind of perfect.
I mean, am I stupid? This is why I get so frustrated with this Joe Biden presidency and with the media. Are you watching this and thinking, oh yeah, Jimmy Kimmel, oh, that was perfect. Oh, great job, Mr. President. Truly historic. The greatest thing I've ever heard come out of a president's mouth.
Let me say another way.
They actually think you're stupid. I mean, they think you're watching this stuff and you're just eating it all up. Oh my God, my Hollywood celebrity Jimmy Kimmel and my greatest president, most popular president of all time, Joe Biden together. Oh my God, I'm in heaven. I'm like a little fangirl. No, it's an old crusty moron who can't put a sentence together and a Hollywood big media, mainstream media shill who's paid to prop him up no matter what he says. That's what's going on here. This is damage control. Then Joe Biden goes on with his, look how the press has changed. And Jimmy Kimmel's just eating it all up, helping him push his propaganda. Yes, Mr. President, the problem is the media isn't shilling you enough. The media should act more like me, Jimmy Kimmel, very famous Hollywood man. And we should all be brown-nosing you, Mr. President. I mean, seriously, they treat you like you're 5 years old with an underdeveloped brain that they can control, that they can mold, that they can confuse you and program your brain. And this is what this whole thing was. It was all damage control. But don't worry, folks, that's just one specific element. Here's Jimmy Kimmel's time for redemption, to do as he promised and to challenge and ask tough questions to the president. Here he is asking President Joe about oil prices.
A climate is something we could all look back at these days and go, oh my God.
But we have made some progress there. There's 560,000, but it's moving. It's moving. My mother used to say, out of everything bad, some good will come if you look hard enough for it. So the reduction on the use of oil also increases the need to find alternatives.
Mm-hmm. Did you catch it? Did you catch the subtle little body language? Joe says we've made some progress. Look at Jimmy Kimmel's response.
But we have made some progress there. There's 560,000.
I mean, what? Shouldn't the follow-up question, if you're a serious journalist, if you're a serious adult, be, well, what progress are you talking about? Gas is like $8 a gallon, where we are right now in Los Angeles. Instead, he puts his fists together and goes, some, yeah, some progress. The guy's a shill. This isn't serious TV. This isn't a serious adult conversation. Joe Biden hasn't made any progress. But don't worry, folks. Let's give them another chance. Joe Biden makes the point that, hey, we might be seeing the most unaffordable gas crisis situation that we've seen in decades. And hey, maybe Joe didn't make any progress here, but good things can spawn out of bad situations. And at least Joe's making progress on the environment. Let's hear some of that progress. Joe?
Well, on climate change, we've actually made some real moves. I mean, we have, 1 in 7 of all the changes that have taken place in terms of solar, wind, and wind pumps, pumps and have occurred in the last 18 months.
And things like solar, wind, and wind pumps, pumps and the like. What the hell is a wind pump? Well, a wind pump is a thing, but my understanding is that a wind pump is an agricultural tool which is used for irrigation and watering livestock. A wind pump is something like this, where the energy comes from the wind and it pumps water out of the ground, giving farmers access to a relatively small amount of water from the land. This has nothing to do with energy. Joe Biden spent, 10-15 minutes on Jimmy Kimmel's show, and I've learned absolutely nothing. Once again, like every other Joe Biden event, public speaking event, interview, show, whatever it is, I walk out of the room at the end of watching it, at the end of subjecting myself to it, and I'm dumber than when I started. I'm less knowledgeable and more confused than when I came in. This whole thing was orchestrated, it was controlled, it was scripted, perfect for Joe Biden, but apparently not perfect enough for him to screw everything up. And the reason I know that it's scripted is because that's the way these TV shows work. You call in, you decide what you're going to talk about before you talk. Sometimes they even write jokes for you. Here's actually a perfect example.
You often get asked, look, the Republicans don't play it square. Why do you play it square?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If we do the same thing they do, our democracy will literally be in jeopardy.
Well, yeah.
Not a joke.
And I understand that argument, but also it's like you're playing Monopoly with somebody who, won't pass go and won't follow any of the rules. And how do you ever make any progress if they're not following the rules?
We've got to send them to jail, There's that little box in there.
Directly to jail?
Go directly to jail.
You mean to tell me that was natural? Look at the look on Jimmy's face. He brought up the Monopoly reference and gave Joe Biden the easiest target of all time. Just say that you're going to send Republicans to jail. Democrat audience reacts. Oh, you got him, Mr. President. Not to mention the hypocrisy. Yes, it's the Republicans who don't play or follow the rules. Says the Democrats who are constantly trying to change the rules of everything, whether it's local elections, extreme gerrymandering, trying to force Republicans off the ballot literally right now, actively trying to stop Donald Trump from being able to get on the ballot in 2024, stacking the Supreme Court, stacking the Senate, abolishing the filibuster, you name it. Oh no, it's really Republicans that don't follow the rules. Oh, did I forget to add intimidating SCOTUS judges? Yeah, let's add that one to the list as well. Jimmy Kimmel's a complete joke. I've learned absolutely nothing, and Joe Biden's still the same failure that he was before he went on the show. In fact, my view of him is probably even worse than it was before. And so great job, Biden administration and Biden handlers. You took the criminal and you gave him legal counsel that he should represent himself on the stage. And while I'd say it backfired pretty spectacularly, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, and I almost forgot this amazing moment.
Maybe we'll have 300 rounds in a magazine. And
if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe. I'm going to get back to work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.